Do you think it's possible to survive in the middle of the ocean for 70 days without knowing where you are? That's exactly what we'll talk about in this video, so make sure you watch it to the end. May 1969. A man named Tom McClean pushed a tiny 20-foot rowboat into the Atlantic Ocean from Newfoundland in Canada, and his goal was to reach Ireland with no motor, no support boat, and without using a GPS. All he had were 2 oars and thousands of miles of open water. But Tom was a British paratrooper, and he was ready to take the risk, even though nothing can prepare you for being alone in the middle of the ocean for weeks with nothing around you besides endless water. So after the challenge started, and Tom got far enough from the shore, he realized that nobody could save him. So if something went wrong, the ocean would swallow him like he never existed. Unfortunately, within the first week, a storm started hitting him, and the waves were rising higher than his boat to the point the water began crashing over the sides, making the boat shake violently, and he was trying to hold on so that he wouldn't get thrown overboard. After a couple of hours, the storm finally passed, but Tom was soaked, exhausted, and already questioning if he would make it. The problem was, this is just the beginning, because the storms kept coming, and each time he had to bail water out of the boat, fix broken equipment, and pray the waves wouldn't flip him over. But still, there was something way worse than storms, and that thing was the silence. Days would go by with nothing but the sound of water and his own breathing, and that's when the loneliness started to get him. Just imagine, no voices, no people, just endless ocean in every direction. After a few weeks, his mind started playing tricks on him. He'd see ships in the distance that weren't really there, or hear voices calling his name. He even started talking to his boat like if it was a person. And let's not forget about the food and water, since it became a serious problem, because he only packed enough supplies for the trip. But after what happened, he had to ration everything perfectly, eating 2 small meals a day along with a few sips of water. Unfortunately, his body started breaking down, and he ended up losing a lot of weight so fast. His hands were literally covered in blisters from rowing, and his skin got burned from the sun and salt water. And every day, the hunger got worse. But here's what most people didn't know. Tom wasn't the only one trying to cross the Atlantic that year, because another man named John Fairfax had already started the same journey a week before. So he was already ahead of him halfway across. And because he was the first, the newspapers were following his progress. So at this point, it wasn't just about survival anymore. This was a race, and Tom knew if he gave up, he'd be forgotten forever. So he had no choice but to continue. And to do that, he used the stars to navigate at night, plotting his course by hand with a sextant. He was trying to fix his boat with whatever he had, tying ropes and patching holes with tape and fabric while following a strict routine, which was rowing for hours, resting a little bit, then rowing again, because he realized that staying busy was the only way to fight this madness. But then, the ocean threw its final test. Another massive storm hit, the biggest one yet. Waves were literally towering over him, and the boat was tilting so far to the side, to the point he thought it was going to capsize, the water flooding in faster than he could bail it out. For hours, he fought to keep the boat upright, and when the storm finally ended, he was barely conscious, completely drained and out of supplies. But surprisingly, he was still alive. Day 70, July 27th, 1969. Tom saw something in the distance. A land finally appeared. It was the coast of Ireland. He literally rowed with whatever strength he had left, and when he finally reached the shore, he collapsed. 70 days alone on the Atlantic, over 3,000 miles. No motor, no help, just him against the ocean. And he made it first, even though at the beginning, John Fairfax was ahead of him. But Tom proved that as long as you don't give up, everything would be possible. I hope you enjoyed this video. Just don't forget to like it, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to watch more videos like this.